subscribe or gives us thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Okay, welcome to KTV Studio, and my name is Dr. Joash Omandi, and in the studio we have Rispa Onyanja, who is the gender advocate. Welcome, Rispa.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mandi, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to grace this occasion, at least to talk about the cultural beliefs from where we come from a gender perspective, and of course, from a woman perspective. My name is Rispa Onyanja, as you have just heard. I'm a gender advocate from Nyamira County. When you hear about the word gender, it means either gender, but in this one, I talk about the women, the young girls and women rights, which are human rights. I am based in Nairobi, but more I do grassroots programs which touches the interior woman back home. I have been in political parties leadership on the highest hierarchies in this Kenya in different political parties. And I am the initiator of the National Political Parties Liaison Committee Women Program, which I initiated and inaugurated, which is very functional now. The National Political Parties Liaison Committee is a tripartite organization which operates with the IEPC, which is the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, which deals with our elections back in the country, and the registrar of political parties and political parties themselves. In this, we have like 91 political parties who sits in this formation, and we have two members representing each party. So we are 91 times 2. So initially, they didn't have women represented, but I initiated, and now we have 100%. 100% achievement that we have 91 women and 91 men representing their political parties in this formation. And I am the outgoing chair after initiating this program, and I can proudly say that we achieved in this one. So back home, I talk about the gender-based violence, being a victim of gender-based violence, and the women rights and girls, and the FGM, which is a primitive way of doing things, which is culturally deep-rooted where I come from. So these are some of the things I try to talk about in the community, in the society, so that we can change, we can empower this woman to face the world, which is very hostile to us.
Wow, that is very good that we have an expert on gender. And now that you have been working on a national, and you come from Nyamira, and recently, we are going to talk about whether the Gusii culture is an impediment to women progress, and I know you should be well first. But first of all, I would like to take this incident which occurred about a lady who was forced because of culture in Nyamira, and I would like you to listen to this clip before we can answer that.
Tukio hilo.
Kanda hii ya mwanagenzi ambayo ilirekodiwa katika kijiji cha Nyabisimba huko Mugirango Magharibi, kaunti ya Nyamira, inaendelea kuibua hisia mseto. Mama huyu anayecharazwa ni Melen Mogaka. Katika kanda hii anaonekana kukataa kumwaga mchanga katika kaburi la mumewe wa zamani Wilfred Onyinge aliyeaga dunia baada ya kupata ajali ya pikipiki. Tukio hili la siku ya Ijumaa tarehe 21 likiwaacha wengi vinywa wazi.
Video.
Well, what exactly, that's where now you come from, and I think that's probably your home area. Now that you're dealing with gender, what is your comment on that?
That video is really disturbing. Watching at it as a woman, I condemn the act at the highest level of condemnation because there is no reason which can give another person freedom to mishandle that woman the way she was being mishandled. Personally, I've taken up the case with the authorities. These are some of the backwardness and primitive ways of dealing with the things that we are always talking about, and this is where we are moving away from. The people who are doing this are taking us back over the gains we have made so far. So, with this act, we condemn it with the highest terms possible, and even if it means wrapping all those men or the whole village who are being involved in mishandling that woman on the graveside. I don't care whether it is the whole community which will be arrested and taken into account on this. And we will pursue this matter to the end. We will have to know. There is no any other reason that someone will give us that whether she was right or she was wrong, there is no end. This is gender-based violence. You could see it is a lot of men around that woman because a woman is just a weaker pig. That is what we have been processed to believe, that we are weak, and now the men can just force us to do. Women have their rights. They have a right to choose where to be, who to interact with, who to marry, and where to live with. There is no another law in Kenya which can force any other woman to stay in a, in a marriage, in a relationship, and that you should be forced so that you can stay in that family. There are reasons as to why that woman must have left that family. And she's giving genuine reasons when we are listening to her. So if the marriage is not working, instead of getting a corpse from that home, it is good for people to part ways. And women have that right to choose.
But now, really, because you have dealt with the gender issue, the lady was married to the late husband, and she came to attend the funeral. How is this culture that is it a must that you have to do the rituals if you have already moved on?
Let me put it like this. This culture applies when the people who are involved were in a good relationship. The people have been living together. That is the last respect you are giving to your husband when you are living together. We don't deny this. We don't see it being forced in other places where you are losing your husband, where you are losing a wife. It can be the husband, it can be the wife. So you have been living together as a husband and a wife. You have an amicable relationship. These are part of the cultural beliefs which are normally don't bring problems. But this woman had left this family, but they have children together with this man.
Yeah.
And this woman was told to come and support the children, bury their father. Nothing stops the children being the children of this man that they separated with the mother. So the mother didn't come here to go through these cultural processes. She only came here to support the children, bury their father. Forcing her to do the cultural uh, processes, which she was not supposed to be part, it is where we draw the line. Like if she was part of this family, she could do this willingly. There is nothing like forcing someone to, and they know these rituals. I call them rituals because they are outdated. I feel like some of these things we need to move away from them as a modern woman. So forcing her and beating her, harassing her, and doing whatever means things they were doing to her, I think it is where we draw the line.
So there is I would want to ask you that because on this same issue, this is a case where um, there is a target between culture and the postmodernist. Because according to the Gusii culture, you are married when the dowry has been paid, and that is the marriage certificate you have to carry. You don't even have to have a sleeve of marriage certificate. So long as dowry was paid, you are a wife of the family. And in this case, even if they were living in town, everybody moved on, but still there was an attachment that dowry was paid, and therefore the community demanded that she had to go all of the burial rites?
Demanding. What we
Yeah,
are saying demanding is now where we draw the line again.
yeah.
Yes, there is dowry being paid as part of cementing the relationship between the two families, but these are the issues which could have been solved before we reach to that extent where somebody is being forced to draw whatever throwing the soil they were saying there. So did they sit there? Always old men, the elders sitting talking about this thing as one dies. This woman has not been there. You cannot randomly just bring her and start forcing her doing things without the men sitting. These dowry things can be sorted out. This woman wants to live here. No, that is where we have the elders sitting, because this woman was not seated where dowry was being discussed. There are these elders who were seated. Again, these elders can sit and decide, is it the dowry which is in the terms of cows and money which is supposed to come back because this woman has said, I'm not going to put up with this violent relationship. This man has many wives, because I could hear I explained when she was recording the statement to the police that like this man wants to have many wives and I cannot put up in a polygamist or an adulterous man. Even in the Bible, it allows us not to live with an adulterous man. So this woman feels like this man is moving out so much with a lot of women. I am not going to stay here. So the elders failed us on this one. They didn't talk about it until they are talking it around the grave. They didn't talk about it until they're talking about it in the burial day. The elders failed us, but a woman will not suffer because the elders failed. As I said, there is no any reason whatsoever that will induce this gender-based
Yeah.
violence we are seeing around.
Okay, throwing of the soil, it's not a mandatory thing. It has something which has been carried in many cultures, not only Gusii, as a way of parting. I mean, and it has always been done voluntarily. Does it have any significance that you have to throw? This is the first time I saw someone being forced. Or maybe they have been doing it because we are living in an era of social media now, where things go viral very quickly.
Throwing soil, as long as I've lived, I've seen this throwing soil things happening. As I said earlier, it is done willingly for the people who have been living together. If you have been with your wife, you died, you are an accident on a sick, okay, you died a natural death. Your wife is saying goodbyes. It has been a natural thing. Even here, even in the modern society, people throw this. Even a president visits a morning in the cabinet secretary, the friend, you could always see the president going fast through with the soil. So it has been something which has lived with us, but it is done willingly and not forcefully. And when it comes to husband and wife, there is the Gusii culture of beliefs is like if the woman is throwing this, will not get married to another person, so she stays in this family. But as you are looking, like even if this woman could willingly throw the soil, could say, I am still young, I am not going to stay single, I am going to get married. So because of what it signifies, what throwing soil signifies, I am not going to throw this soil. The cultural Gusii cultural beliefs is like if you are throwing this soil, then you are staying in this home. You are ready to stay in this home. If you look at that woman, is a young woman who feels like deal death do us part. If that was the case, then now death has parted me with my husband. I wanna look for another man. So she cannot be forcefully do that. As I said, the elders failed us. Sometimes we see this happening all the time, even when the husband and the wife they are in good terms, but the wife feels like I want to get married. This process doesn't go on. So this one
You,
they failed
you,
us.
you know, and one thing is that the act was even supported by the Gusii Council of Elders. I don't know whether one of the Gusii Council of Elders was speaking on his own behalf, but one official said that, she had to do that. Do you think the Gusii culture has become an impediment to the progress of Gusii women?
I could say yes and no.
Okay.
This is how I'm supporting my yes.
Mm.
I'm told the authorities, the chief and the elders were there. As a gender advocate, what we are advocating is moving away from these primitive ways of thinking.
Yeah.
That a woman is someone's property that you want to mishandle her the way you want. This is where we are moving into to a modern woman who is given opportunities, who is given space also to make decisions, but not to be dealt with someone. When I got married to ask my husband, I don't become a property of my husband. I become a partner of my husband. I'm not a property. This is where we are departing from. These are the stereotypes. These are the patriarchal society-minded issues that we need to move away from. Like, so the men can sit in a corner and they will decide, like, no, this is our property. No, these are our advocacy is around these norms. We need to depart from these norms, which puts a woman as a weaker person who will be handled as a property to some community.
Yeah. So, what do you think that our culture has given? Which part has it done well to women? The Gusii culture.
We need to change. We are making progress, but the progress is very slow. But as a community, we need to change, and we are completely advocating. We are doing better in FGM. However, we are trying to give it another name of a medical name, like, okay, the doctors can do it, let us not doing it the way you used to do it initially, like the women could do it. We are moving it to a safer FGM. This is a safer FGM. There is nothing called safer FGM. We need to depart from FGM completely, which is female genital mutilation. We need to depart from this. We call this primitive. We call this backwardness. We need to move away from this. We are making progress on this direction. We are still remaining a lot. We are still remaining a lot to do on accessing opportunities, women taking leadership spaces. As a community, we don't still believe that a woman can lead. As a community, we still feel like we feel like a woman should be speaking from the kitchen. We will be a homemaker. We will be taking care of the children.
Okay.
We are making strides on education. We believe in every child, every girl child has to go to school. We are making a lot of progress as a community. Like our girls nowadays go to school. If myself see a girl being remarried, being circumcised and married to an old man, that one we are there with you. There are so many things happening around education that all girls have to go to school. And the going to school girls have been empowered. They are continuing knowing their rights. They know what to take and what not to take. So I feel like in education, we are making progress. In the gender female mutilation, we are making progress, and we are trying to make progress on women sitting in decision-making spaces. Because if you are not on the table, you are on the menu, you are being eaten. So,
A good point you brought there, and now that you have been working with the political parties, as you say, and IBC. Now, you understand that many communities in Kenya have made progress since independence. We have had women members of parliament registered as senators, governors. You can see that in Kalenjin land, you can see in Luo, you can see in Kikuyu, and even from some coastal communities. But since independence, the Gusii people have never elected a member of parliament, a woman. They have. Even if you come to county assemblies right now, Gusii County has only one woman. I don't know whether in Nyamira they have a woman. I'm not sure. Maybe you know better. Not even a county assembly. You can only get the cases who are nominated, women who are nominated to the assembly as a majority, that's why maybe that's where you worked on. Is there a problem in our culture that we have never had a member of parliament from Gusii, a woman member of parliament?
I can agree with you that some communities in Kenya have made some progress electing their women. They have started believing in a woman leadership, and trust me, the women now we have 7 governors women. Last time we had only 2, so these last general elections we had at 5. So we are making progress. As I told you, still we are making progress, but however slow the process is. We are looking forward to having more governors in the coming general elections. Coming back to my community, there is always a say, which I normally don't agree with, but sometimes I tend to agree with it, that women are their own enemies. I sometimes normally don't intend to agree with that statement, but sometimes it hits me hard because I'm always in the campaign trail because I also want people to choose the right leaders, even sometimes we bring the women. In Gusii, we only, in the Gusii Large, Gusii and Nyamira, we only have women elected as the women representative, a seat which we worked for as an affirmative seat. An affirmative seat, we fought for it because we thought like it can empower a woman for one term because the women were left behind. So let us just believe in these women now by giving them an affirmative seat. We have elected twice the women, women and different women representatives. Thank God that they have gone one term. It's only in Nyamira. This one is going for the second term. This seat was for women. You will get empowered once the second time you go and compete. It did come that a woman stays there. You want to go twice, you want to go the second time, and you want to go there the third time. You are supposed to go there once, then you are empowered, you get a base, then you move and compete in the constituency, in the MCA, in the Senate, in the governor, and leave another woman who is less empowered to get empowered through this seat. Unfortunately, some women are making it a home, a base to stay. They should know that that was not the essence of that seat. Coming back home, the women themselves, I hope my other fellow women don't come for my neck on this one. We haven't believed in ourselves. Most of the time when I'm holding a mic in the middle of men and I wanted to address, they will always ask you, where is her husband? Where is she in the middle?
Whose wife is that?
Whose wife is that? But they have not taken that initiative to ask this man, because where is your wife? I've never seen a man who is looking for leadership or parenting the children and the wife. That is a qualification to be the leader. But the first people to ask, where is the husband? Whose wife is this? They are the women. And because we have been processed before, we have been programmed to believe that leadership is a man's duty. They have not moved from that. What is she doing in the middle of men? I am speaking straight to our women back in the village and our communities that it is time they wake up and take these leadership spaces for us. If they could watch where women are, even in the counties where women are, you could see at Oma Base doing us great, and Machakos, Wavinya Date is doing well. Even in the parastatals, even in the offices which have been taken by women, corruption is less. Women are doing well. Our Auditor General is a woman, and they are the people who are making a lot of sense in our country now. The Auditor General and the
control budget. Yeah.
Control of budget.
Exactly.
Women who are making a lot of sense in our country now. The judiciary is, we have a seat, we have a deputy seat who is a woman. The judiciary is all women. And you could see where the changes which are being made where the women are leading. So going back to my community, straight talking to the women around me, it is high time we embrace the women leadership. If you see someone has made steps ahead, we support this woman. Let us not wait to be nominated. When we are nominated, we are not even being respected. We are not being respected and they were given. These are girlfriends. These are Pagoyakadu. These are so these are being awarded. Someone awarding girlfriends. So let us take these leadership spaces. As I said, even when you are in political parties leadership, don't be put on something like leagues, women leagues, youth leagues, and you are something. Just be in the decision making in this executive. If I am in a party, I am with a secretary general, or I am a chairperson, or I am organizing. At least where decisions are being made. I am not going to be nominated or given an opportunity to serve in a political party just to be an compliant issue. I don't want to be an compliant issue just to fill those papers because women are supposed to be in the political parties leadership.
Now,
So
what you tell Gusii men, what do they need to change?
please, men, embrace us. We are leaders. We have leadership skills, and we can do. If we cannot do better than what we are doing, we are not trying to compete in this one. Men feel like we are competing. The Gusii men, we are not competing, but we are bringing different ideas. We are bringing new ideas. We are bringing new experiences. Because a woman experiences differently from what a man experiences. What does a man has to talk about a woman in a maternity? There is no man who has been in labor who knows how a woman can labor. So how could they talk about our maternity wards? How could they talk about our... Please, we are bringing new experiences on the table.
Yeah, but
And
then
complement what the men are doing so that we can take our community forward.
well, something on the side we just saw, and you know, you are a national leader, and you have seen all these cultures. There is one culture which almost mirrors like the kisses. We resemble in culture in many ways, and this is the culture of the Meru people. And something happened in Meru recently. Meru, the last election, they elected a woman governor. But in his first 3 months in office, she was impeached. The impeachment motion came forward, was thrown away by the Senate. Then a second one came, was thrown away. They never rested. Again, they brought the third one now. The lady, Kawira Mwangasa, has been hounded out of office through that. And during the celebration, I saw all of the men whom she had flawed in the last election, the names like Kirautu Murungi, and many big people from there. They were celebrating that they have finally got their seat back. This is the count. This is the Meru people share the same characteristics with the Kisses. They have never had a woman member of parliament except one who was elected in 1974, and she was also hounded from office the same way Kawira Mwangaza was hounded over, and they have never had the people. What do you have to say about that culture? And these are the two cultures which mirror very well. I want your opinion on that.
There is one thing I want to say first before I address Kawira Mwangaza.
Yeah.
Women, when you have been given an opportunity to serve, please serve well. Serve the people and avoid the side shows. In Kawira Mwangaza's case, in Meru, it is a county where big shots of the country believes to come from. If you see our current deputy president comes from Meru, the Kiraitu Murungis, the former or state house controller, a lot of big shots comes from Meru, and they are men. This is a country which believes like, how can we be ruled by a woman? Still, it is that patriarchal society where Kawira Mwangasa was coming from. When as women we felt like Kawira Mwangasa was being targeted, we sat her down and she took advice. We took Kawira Mwangasa as women and we sat her down. To advise her on how to navigate in that muddy of the men she trashed, feeling like, oh, how did that woman come to
Mm.
Trash as this is our territory. And many believe, like the Meru people, like the Kisis, they feel like the leadership space is for them, and they are manning it like a woman is intruding on something. But trust me, that is a primitive way of thinking, and we need to move out of there. Before we talk about the mistakes Kawera Mangasa did, we should have respected Kawera Mangasa as a chosen people, governor, and let her to serve. If she had her weaknesses, we could just guide her through and see how better she could deliver uh, on the promises she had given to the Meru people. But the men didn't sleep because they felt that a woman cannot sit on us. Still, those stereotypes that those are many spaces. That it is quite unfortunate that what happened to Kawera happened, and we are looking forward not to see such an experience. We tried, but we were defeated in this middle of men, but we are still forging forward. But quite unfortunate that what
Well,
happened to Kawera
you
Mangasa.
have a work right there. You have a work to work as a gender advocate.
Yeah.
That is our culture. But so in general, you have said that the culture we see has made us we are progressing women, but there are still areas we need to progress.
Oh yeah, it is
Well,
deep rooted. It is deep rooted, but we need to be aggressive. And those women who have been empowered already, together, let us be aggressive and deal with this. Do advocacy, talk about it, do women empowerment, and bring the women out of these cocoons of
well,
believing like it's only a man can lead.
thank you very much for your time. Our time is gone here. Do you have any parting words you want to say before we
I
finish?
want to talk about the this month we are celebrating International Women Month, and
Okay.
it is about taking action, accelerating action towards women empowerment. I
Wow.
want to, and we've just come from New York where we had the Commission of Status of Women. We were talking about the gains we have achieved 30 years after Beijing. That
Okay.
years after Beijing, women went to Beijing 30 years ago talking about the women empowerment, and there are thematic areas that they took from Beijing, which we have been working on. So we have given our action papers in the UN to include them as the gains, and where we have not gained, we are talking about acceleration. That is the theme of
Okay.
this month is International Women Day. So women, we need to accelerate further.
Okay.
Nothing for us without us. And if you are not on the table, trust me, you are on the menu, you are being eaten. So make sure you are on the table making decisions. Thank you so much. That's all.
Thank you for your time. It was really nice hosting.